In a bustling city where life brimmed with vibrance and dreams, there lived a family that many admired. Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi were proud parents of 3 beautiful daughters, Tola, Sade, and Bisi. These girls were the heart of their home, and their parents cherished them dearly, nurturing their growth with love, care, and education. The Adeyemi sisters attended Prime Crest Academy, a reputable school that every parent in the neighborhood respected. Known for its high standards and commitment to academic excellence, the school also embraced activities that made childhood memorable. One of these traditions was the annual December picnic, a well-anticipated event by students and parents alike. Over the years, the school had taken the children to several scenic locations, like the zoo, parks, gardens, museums, creating memories that lingered in the hearts of many families. This December, however, brought whispers of a new adventure, Tarkwa Bay Beach. It was the first time the school planned a trip to the beach, a place surrounded by serene waters and rich greenery. But there was a catch. To reach the beach, students would need to cross a river by boat. Excitement buzzed through the hallways of Prime Crest Academy. When the Adeyemi sisters came home with the news, their voices overflowed with enthusiasm. "Mummy, Daddy, our school is taking us to Tarkwa Bay this year. We'll go on a boat to the beach. Isn't that exciting?" Tola, the eldest, was radiant with joy, her eyes dancing as she spoke. Mr. Adeyemi's face stiffened slightly. "A boat? And no other way to get there?" "Yes, Daddy," Sade chimed in. "All the students are going. It's completely safe," they said. Mrs. Adeyemi exchanged a worried glance with her husband. She could feel the unease settling in his mind, because she shared it too. Memories of tragic water accidents flickered briefly through her thoughts, and her instincts screamed caution. But their daughter's hopeful faces made her hesitate. "We need to think about it," Mr. Adeyemi replied sternly. For the next few days, the girls tirelessly pleaded. "Daddy, please. We've never missed a school picnic. Everyone else will go." Their words chipped away at their parents' resolve. Eventually, Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi relented. "All right," Mr. Adeyemi said, his voice heavy. "You can go. But promise to be very careful. And listen to your teachers." "We promise." The girls hugged their parents tightly, their joy boundless. The morning sun rose brightly, its golden rays filtering through the city's skyline. The air was filled with chatter and excitement as students gathered at the jetty where the ferry awaited. Parents waved goodbye, some lingering nervously as they watched their children board the boat. Among the crowd were Tola, Sade, and Bisi, their faces lit up with excitement. "Hold your sister's hands," Mr. Adeyemi had reminded Tola earlier that morning. She nodded dutifully, holding onto Sade and Bisi tightly as they climbed aboard. The boat was old and creaky, painted in faded colors that hinted at years of wear. A man who appeared to be the boat driver stood near the helm, calling out instructions. He was a rugged figure with a loud voice, more focused on getting the passengers seated than ensuring safety. Strangely, no life vests were distributed. "Sir, aren't we supposed to have life jackets?" one of the teachers asked timidly. "No need, Ma. It's just a short trip," the driver replied dismissively. The jetty soon faded behind them, as the boat glided across the river. At first, everything seemed calm, the water shimmering under the bright December sun. Students laughed and sang, their voices harmonizing with the gentle splash of oars against the current. But December's waters held a dangerous secret. It was the season when the river grew restless, its waves unpredictable and fierce. Suddenly, the winds picked up, dark clouds forming above the water. The laughter quieted as the boat began to rock violently. "What's happening?" Sade clutched Tola's arm, fear spreading across her face. "It's just a little wind," Tola said, trying to stay calm. But the winds grew stronger, turning the river into a frothing beast. Waves pounded against the sides of the boat. The driver struggled to keep control, his shouts barely audible over the roaring water. Panic erupted. "Stay calm, children. Hold on to something," the teachers screamed, but it was too late. A massive wave struck the boat, it tilted, then capsized. Screams pierced the air as the boat overturned, plunging everyone into the angry river. The river swallowed them mercilessly. The children's cries for help were drowned by the roar of the water. One by one, they disappeared beneath the surface, their hands grasping desperately for something, anything, to hold on to. From the shore, a fisherman who had witnessed the chaos screamed for help. Villagers and rescue teams rushed to the scene, their boats slicing through the turbulent waters as they searched for survivors. Hours passed, but hope waned as bodies were pulled ashore. News of the tragedy spread through the city like wildfire. The jetty, once filled with laughter and eager goodbyes, became a place of mourning. Parents arrived, their faces etched with anguish as they searched for their children. Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi were among them, their hearts shattering when they saw the lifeless forms of their beloved daughters laid on the riverbank. The city stood still that day. The December picnic, once a symbol of joy and tradition, had become a nightmare etched in memory. People gathered in churches, mosques, and homes to pray for the souls of the children reclaimed by the river. In the days that followed, officials promised investigations, but nothing could bring back the lives lost. The river remained silent, its waters flowing as though nothing had happened. The tragedy of Tarkwa Bay Beach served as a harsh lesson for families across the city. December, a time of festivity and reflection, was also a season of nature's unpredictability. Parents became more cautious, and schools revised their safety measures for outings. Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi mourned their daughters deeply, their home forever quiet without the laughter of Tola, Sade, and Bisi. Through their pain, they shared a message with other parents: be careful where you send your children. A moment of excitement is not worth a lifetime of grief. And so, the story of the river that reclaimed the students became a tale passed down through generations, a reminder that safety must never be taken for granted, especially in December.